Hey, we're back at the top again today with another stop on the road to Pokemon Let's Go. It's week 28, and 2 weeks ago there was a rumor floating around that certain Pokemon could be getting new Mega Evolutions. What? New Megas? How is that possible? We didn't get any in Alola. Well, if you didn't already know, 15 Pokemon were re-trademarked in Japan, which, during Generation 6, the Pokemon that got Mega Evolutions had the same thing happen to them. If you want to read up more on the rumor, be sure to check out the stop during week 26. But with this possibility in the air, I wanted to speculate and discuss what these potential Megas could be, with designs, stats, and abilities. Big disclaimer, this is still a rumor, so this is either untrue or already been confirmed as I'm ahead in making these videos. So if either of these two occur, I apologize. Of course, all these designs used in this video will be credited 3 ways, via text, said aloud, and linked in the description. So be sure to check out their other stuff. With that, let's dive into the first half of the new potential Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So our first Pokemon we'll be going over is Gollum. And I've gone over this Mega many times before, but to this day, 2 years later, I still love this concept. So Gollum, I've got the Gollemite for you. What does it do to you? Let's find out. And you've lost your Rock Shell! What? Yep. Gollum becomes a fast dinosaur-looking Pokemon. Of course, this is designed by Ochono from DeviantArt. Now, this drastic change completely turns Gollem's stats on its head. Without that Rock Shell slowing it down, it switches it up from a slow, tanky Rock Ground type to a faster, stronger Mono Ground type. And as you can see, it gets gains in its attack, 110 to 150, and speed, 45 to 105, while taking a hit to its defense, 130 down to 100. Hey, without anything protecting it, it's a lot more vulnerable. With its ability of weak armor, it can take hits, get faster, and dominate the competition with its staggeringly high attack stat. Earthquakes for days, boys! Up next is the first mascot of the Let's Go series. Well, technically it's the evolution, but don't even worry about that. I always found it weird that the mascot of the series never got the Mega Evolution love. Hence why when it appeared on this list, I had to think of something that would keep both its cuteness and coolness factor. So let's drop that long-lost Raichuite. Well, Raichu, how do you feel? Well, I feel like this design from Glitched Mew from DeviantArt keeps both of those factors intact. Well, maybe this expression doesn't do it enough justice. How about this? No? Well, too bad. With all this extra staticky fur and spikes, it's a lot quicker and can pack more of a punch. It gets its biggest stat boost in attack, 90 to 115, and speed, 110 to 145. But with its special attack stat of 100, it will keep people on their toes whether or not it's a physical or special attacker. With the ability of Galvanize, it will make it even stronger, boosting attacks such as Return, Fake Out, Body Slam, or Hyper Beam. Shocking, isn't it? One other thing I want to say is that Alolan Raichu is not compatible with the Raichuite, since genetically, Alolan Raichu and Raichu are not the same. This is also the case for all the other Pokemon from this list that has an Alolan form. One Pokemon that's pretty good already is Starmie. Starmie has Bolt Beam, meaning has access to both Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, which causes a problem to certain checks and counters. So, how could we make Starmie better without breaking it? Easy. We just make Mayonnaise an instrument. Well, and give it the Starmite. And now it becomes a Grand Star. Mario? This is not the Grand Star you're looking for. Please kindly leave. I think Peach got kidnapped again. I just mean it's a grander of a starfish. And Art of Marco from DeviantArt really makes it look grand. Now its stat boosts are across the board, with its biggest gainers in its special attack, 100 to 130, and speed, 115 to 145. Both of its defenses get a boost as well, both from 85 to 100, but it all comes down to its ability. And with that gem becoming a power source, it gets the ability of Tinted Lens. This actually might be a little bit broken. Let's check back at the lab to see if we can nerf it a bit. Oh. Okay, thanks! Persian. Wow, Persian is bad. I'm glad we get to fix a bad Pokemon and make it way better, because it really needs it. So, Cat, you were owned by Giovanni. You're super weak. So, why do I want to give you this Persianite? Well, to make that battle a lot harder, that's why. Here you go! And wowee! Look at this design from Emerald Sora from DeviantArt. It really looks a lot luckier. It remains a mono and normal type, but its stats are flared up, with the biggest rises in its attack, 70 to 120, and speed, 115 to 135. And remember when I said it looks luckier? Well, that's because it's supposedly based off of Maneki Neko. So, taking inspiration from that, giving it Super Luck seems to be the best option for an ability. Imagine a stab boosted slash with Super Luck. I just feel so unlucky thinking about it. Now, if there's one Pokemon that was hard to find a Mega Evolution concept for, it's Mr. Mime. There's pretty much nothing, so I have to make something out of nothing. And that's a hard thing to do, but not impossible. So I gotta work with what I got. And with this Mr. Mimite, we have this thing. I feel like any way you try to make Mr. Mime look cool or interesting, it won't ever look the way you want it to. But don't get me wrong, Bogey Hero of DeviantArt here makes it work like a charm. This amplifies its Mime powers, whatever that is, and truly creates an invisible box. With its stat boost, its biggest gains are in defense, 65 to 130, and special defense, 120 to 140. And to make things even more problematic, running Filter will weaken the types that it's weak to. You can't hit what you can't see. And now we have the other mascot in Let's Go. All three versions of them. Yes, even the evolutions were in this list, which makes sense, since in the original Yellow, your rival had an Eevee, which I assume he'll have Pikachu in Let's Go Eevee, but we're not talking about that terrible Let's Go rival today. We're talking about Vaporeon, and this Pokemon specifically is already a pretty great Pokemon. But what if we made it better? Slap that... would it be an Eevite or a Vaporeonite? It's a Megastone. Let's just leave it at that. And now you see how much more powerful this design from Godzilla 1030 from DeviantArt makes it look. Want to know how strong? Well, its largest stat boosts are in its special attack, 110 to 135, and special defense, 95 to 115. This Pokemon's a special wall 3 ways to Sunday, but it gets even better. It has an upgraded ability from before. It used to have Water Absorb, but now it has Storm Drain, meaning it can actually gain special attack if you are careless, and throw that Scald out. Yet another bulky water, but this one packs a punch. And for the second part of the OG Eevee trio, we have Jolteon. See, with Vaporeon previously, it had its strongest stat in its HP. For Mega Evolutions, HP isn't boosted in the slightest, which meant that its strongest stat didn't get any airtime. Jolteon, on the other hand, can get the full force of its impact. I'll hand this Jolteonite to you and BAM! Look at this thundercloud looking thing by Godzilla 1030. This thing looks fierce and fantastic at the same time. Fierce-tastic! And with access to its strongest stat, it gets wildly buffed. With strong boost to its special attack, 110 to 135, special defense, 95 to 115, and speed, 130 to 160, it becomes one of the fastest Pokemon ever. Tied with Ninjask and losing to Deoxys Speed, but that's a legendary Pokemon, so we're gonna ignore that. On the ability front, we'll once again boost its previous ability of Volt Absorb and give it Lightning Rod. Just try going for Thunderbolt while Jolteon is around. And even with a Scarf, most of the time, it will outspeed you. And for the finale, we have the fiery Flareon. Flareon has always been the joke of this trio, not getting Flare Blitz until Generation 6. Strong physical attacker with no physical fire stat. You name the jokes. So we need something to give it its time in the spotlight. First, we'll try giving it the Flareonite to turn it into a spectacular looking concept from Godzilla 1030 again. And with its best stat after the Mega Boost being in attack, 130 to 160, special attack, 95 to 115, and special defense, 110 to 135, it can become that Pokemon that will finally actually stand a chance in battles. What? Its defenses suck? Well, not to worry, since its ability of Fur Coat nullifies that issue. Huh? That ability doesn't match with the other two because it's not a buffed version of Flash Fire. Well, newsflash, there's not a buffed version of Flash Fire, so we're stuck with this. And this ability is actually low-key useful. So, which one of these three Mega Evolutions are the best? Whoa! Hang on, we're gonna slow it down here. There are too many potential new Megas, and I don't want this video to become light years long, which means we're gonna wrap it up here with the first part on this stop to the road to Pokemon Let's Go. We'll have part 2 next month, and if things still aren't completely confirmed or debunked, it will go up at the end of the month. But if you enjoyed and want to stick around and join us on this Let's Go hype train, go ahead and smack the like button as high as it can go and subscribe to start the climb today. With that, though, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you back at the top later on because that's how we do us.